Hello world, I'm Colleen and welcome to my glamorous life. And welcome to my new studio. I finally got it set up, so now I don't have to do this in my bedroom and you don't have to stare at my husband's dirty dresser or anything. So when I did my live for my New Year's Get Ready With Me live, I had a viewer who said, you should do a morning routine. And I said, okay, so what do you want to see? You want to see me washing my face? You want to see makeup? What do you want? Both. Okay, what kind of makeup? Glam or kind of everyday? So I'm doing my everyday, which is probably a little more than super duper natural, though I've done a few natural looks. But this is my everyday look that you see here, right here. And how I get ready in the morning. So I am going to take you into my bathroom. I'm going to show you what I do with my skincare in the morning and bring you back here and show you how I do my face and my hair for just a general day of doing nothing, except maybe editing videos. So if you like this and you want to see more content like this, do me a favor, click the subscribe button, click that button down below. As you know, I am a 50-year-old, well, not quite 50-year-old, I'll be 50 in a couple months, almost 50-year-old mom of 3 teenagers, and I'm here to give you helpful tips, tricks, and honest reviews. So let's get to it. So welcome to my bathroom. First thing in the morning, I wash my face using Peach and Lily's Power Calm Hydrating Gel Cleanser. This is the Camellia and Chamomile combination. It's really soothing and really kind of hydrating to the skin, and my skin is so incredibly dry. I absolutely hate not cleaning it in the morning. It always feels dirty. So once I've got that nice and rubbed in, I go ahead and rinse my hands off real quick and give them a quick dry, because what I do about 3 times a week is I use a lip scrub. I use the Raw Sugar Natural Lip Scrub because my lips also dry out, and about 3 times a week this gives them a good exfoliating treatment. And I do that while the cleanser's on my face so I can just rinse everything off at once. Oh, I love how this stuff feels. It's got that little bit of emollient quality to it while the sugar's doing the exfoliating for you. To rinse my face, rather than splashing it with water, I take a washcloth in lukewarm water, wring it out really good, and use it to gently swipe away the cleanser and the lip scrub. Now, most people wouldn't do this because it is kind of an exfoliating step, but my skin being so dry, the cell turnover is so minimal that I almost have to have that extra exfoliation every day. So I don't rub and scrub with it, I just very lightly brush away the cleanser and the lip scrub. Then I'm going to hit my face with the Murad Hydrating Toner. This is just a toner spray that is very hydrating, just gives that little extra boost of moisture before I go in with all my serums. And my first serum is always the Ordinary's Argiriline Solution 10%. This is kind of like a topical Botox. It gives a little bit of relaxation to those muscles that cause the fine lines and wrinkles. I tend to use this around my eyes, across my forehead and nose, and around my mouth, where most of my fine lines manifest themselves. Give that a second to soak in just a little bit. My next step, I use the Inkey List Collagen Booster. This has the Matrixol 3000 compound in it that helps just boost the collagen production in your skin, keeping your skin nice and plump and youthful looking. Oops, oh dear, a little bit of lip scrub got away from me there. That's okay. The collagen boost gives your skin a little boost of plumpness. My next serum that I use almost every day is the Ordinary's Niacinamide 10% and Zinc 1%. And I use this because I have some hyperpigmentation spots from acne scarring and sun damage, especially on my neck and up around my temples. So I just kind of gently apply that to help brighten up my skin a little bit and reduce some of that hyperpigmentation. My final serum, I've been using the SubQ Skin Advanced Serum, the Hylamide, which is also from the Abnormal Beauty Company, the company that brings you The Ordinary. And this is a hyaluronic acid serum that just has a little bit of extra boost to it, and I really like the way it locks in the moisture in my skin. And I also rub that into the back of my hands when I have a little extra. My final skincare step is going to be the Skin Soak Rich Moisture Cream from Versed. It is a squalene and red algae extract moisturizer, and with as dry as my skin is, believe it or not, this does not make me greasy. This just gives me that little extra boost of moisture that I need to get through the day without my makeup feeling like it's sitting in every line. Once again, just gently pat it in. I'm not pulling or stretching on anything, and even around my eyes with this way I don't need an eye cream. All the way down the neck, and rub it into your hands. And that's it for my morning skincare routine. Just make sure everything's nice and blended in, and there you have it. So now that I've got my skincare done in the morning, I'm going to go ahead and put on my Kosas Sport Hyaluronic Baseline. This is their baseline lip balm. It's a hyaluronic acid. I love this stuff. This is like my go-to moisturizer for lips. And I'm always creaky in the morning. I don't usually shoot this early. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and prime my face. And here again, my skin is so dry. There's lots of moisture going on. So I'm using the Laura Geller Spackle treatment in Even Tone. If I can get that to focus for you. Come on, focus, focus, focus. There we go. This has got a little bit of a shimmer to it. And so for an everyday look, it just kind of gives me that little pop like I'm actually awake. And I'm just going to take maybe like a pea-size amount, and I'm going to rub that in. Close that up. And I'm just going to concentrating on the center of my face where the light normally hits anyway, and up and out. So you can see it kind of gives me a little bit of a more of a shimmer right in through here. And then we're just going to leave that sit because I want that just to sit and get nice. So the next thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to go ahead and prime my eyes, and I've got the Urban Decay eye primer. This is their primer potion, the anti-aging version. This is like a really old one, so I've got to kind of squeeze it to get it out. I need to get more of this. I love it. And I always prime my eyes. I don't care how simple a makeup I'm going to do. I prime my eyes because otherwise my makeup is going to move by the end of the day. And that's just a combination of, you know, the oils from my eyelids, a hot flash if I have one. Okay, so once I've got my eye primer on, I'm going to go ahead and do my eyeshadow for today. And I am using the Sakure and Sage Vegan Eyeshadow and Blush Palette today. It's one-stop shop for all my colors. This is their Seraphine Botanicals. So I've got my blush and a little bit of... I've got my blush and a little bit of like a more of a bronzery shade here too. And all the eyeshadows I could want for any kind of day. So this is kind of like my one-stop shop. And this is shadow, so it's not going to be as vibrant as some of the stuff I use. So I'm going to go into the shade Pecan right here with my nice big fluffy brush that has a cat hair hanging on it. There we go. Sorry, you get cats, you get cat hair. All right, now I'm going to go right in just above my crease with my little, you know, the standard windshield wiper operation here on both sides. So it's kind of even. Then I'm going to kind of blend that out a little bit. Remember, up and out, always up and out. All right. Now I'm going to take the same brush and I'm going to pop in just a tiny bit in the chicory, which is the dark brown, just to deepen up the outer corner. And I'm just popping the edge of the brush on it so you can see it's right there on the edge. I'm just going to get that outer corner just a little bit on both sides. Tap anything off of there that's on there and blend it out. And you can tell I'm not like a total like super bare minimum makeup all the time. Most of the time you'll see me with some sort of makeup on, but you could go even simpler than this. Just take a swipe of that Pecan right across your lid and you're out the door. I like to do a little bit more. I'm going to jazz it up just a tiny bit with this, what they call Sparkle here, this pink. And I'm taking a nice big flat brush. This one's a fairly stiff brush, so I get quite a bit of payoff. So I'm just going to dab that there and up into my brow bone. And that's it. That is it for eyeshadow today, okay? Nothing fancy, nothing major. Now, the thing that I probably spend the most time on is going to be my eyebrows, just because, well, girl doesn't have a lot of eyebrow. So we're going to take, first off, the 24-hour brow setter. This is my mini version. I have the big one somewhere. This is by Benefit. It is just a clear brow gel, and I'm going to take and try and coax any hair I have kind of upward. I've been kind of into this almost laminated brow look lately, as opposed to drawing it in, laying it flat. So I just brush that hair kind of up with a nice light coat of this to start with. You can see already I'm looking like I have a little bit more in the way of brows. Now I'm going to deepen the color of the actual hair for me, because you can tell my hair's pretty dark still, but my eyebrows have kind of disappeared. This is the Gimme Brow in the shade 3.5, which is Warm Auburn. And once again, this is my small version. From Benefit. It's really neat. They've got the two versions. You can get the big one of a lot of their brow product, and a lot of it they have a smaller version, which is kind of nice if you're traveling, because then you don't have to pack the kitchen sink. You can pack the small ones. So I always have, you know, one of each on, or if you're on a budget and you aren't sure about a color or something, buy the smaller one and try it out. It's the best way to go. Okay, so now I'm just brushing that again up through my brow. You can see the difference there. It's not a huge, like, monster difference, but you'll see on the outside here where there's like hardly any hair. Watch this. There is hair there. See, look. There's hair there. Just not a lot of it. I don't know why this side of my face gives me fits. All right. I think I say that every video. I don't know. All right, so there we go. So now we've got some brows going on. Now just to, you know, I could leave it here. I could go on. I don't usually. This is just me. You could stop here. You could just leave it if you're happy with it. I like my brows a little more intense. So I do a combination. I have the Laura Geller Heavenly Brows 24-hour brow marker in blonde. And this is one of those microblade type tips. If I can get it to focus for you there. I don't know if you can see that. It's got the little cut. Come on. It's not going to focus. Of course. But it's got the little cuts in it so that when you hold it at the right angle, you get little hair-like strokes, almost like microbladed brows, which is what I'm after. I used to be really heavy-handed, and if you look back at some of my older pictures, it just looks like I've got a big drawn-on eyebrow. I'm trying to get a little more natural. You know, even as you age, you can learn new tricks. You don't have to use the same thing all the time. So I just kind of follow that out, and you can see it just plumps it up a little bit, if you will. And the nice thing about this is if you, oops, it's pretty easy to wipe off with a Q-tip. Maybe a little, like Scentsy Eyes, little makeup remover. It'll come right off. So don't be afraid. Play around with your brows. Make them look neat. There we go. Okay, so if I want to deepen up the outer edges there, I'm going to take the NYX Lift and Snatch. This is their Brow Tint Pen, and it's in the color Caramel. And it is simply a small, fine tip felt marker. So you can literally put in individual hairs. So out here where I hardly have any hair, I can make that look a little more natural. Like I said, I probably spend the most time doing my brows. Everybody you know, they joke around with me. It's like, oh, you spend so much time doing your eyes in those videos. I'm like, yeah, well, that's because nobody sees my mouth with a mask on. But I probably spend more time doing my brows, which is why a lot of times the brows will already be done when I get on camera, or I go off camera to do them. So that is like a down and dirty brow. Okay, and that's changed a little bit. And if I think it's not going to stay in place, I might go back over it a little bit with a 24-hour brow setter, but they look pretty good today. Eyeliner. Now notice, I haven't put any foundation on yet. I just put the primer on. And that's because if you make a mistake while doing your eyes and you go to have to take it off with a little bit of makeup remover or whatever, you're going to lose your foundation. So most of the time, 98% of the time, I don't put my foundation on until after. If I do put my foundation on before I do my eyes, I avoid my eye area and I do my concealer last. So it's kind of up to you. There are times where I get going and I start putting on my face and I go, oh, I just put all my foundation on and I still have my eyes to do. So this is my preferred method, but you do what you do you. Okay, now I'm going to tightline with this. This is, as I start without telling you, this is the Bodyography eyeliner their eye pencil in Black Walnut, which is this beautiful deep brown shade. And I'm going to tightline. So I'm going to go underneath my lashes here and into my lashes. Not on the waterline. I'm going into my lashes to tightline. Because I don't want it on my waterline, because as the day progresses, that's going to leach out into the outer corner of your eye or in the inner corner of your eye, just because of your natural tear production. Now, if you're just doing a photo shoot, go for it. But I'm not. I am actually doing an everyday makeup. So I just go right into that tight line there, and you can kind of see a little bit of a difference between the two. And part of the reason I do this is because I do have that double row of lashes, but even if you don't have a double row of lashes, this is a really good way to make it look like you do. This fills in between the lashes for me, or it can make it look like the base of your lashes are thicker if you don't have that double row. Now, if I want to do something underneath here, I'm just going to go right along the edge of that waterline on the bottom, over my lower lashes. I want to catch those lower lashes with the pencil too. But once I have that on there, I'm going to take a cotton bud and I'm just going to swipe the waterline. So you can see the difference between the two eyes. Where I've taken it out of the waterline here, you don't see the eyeliner there, but look at the difference between the bottom of my eyes. Which one looks a little more awake? I'm looking in the monitor here. To me, this one looks more awake. So here again, just swipe the edge of the pencil along the lash line in the waterline there, making sure you catch that lash line. Take your clean cotton bud, swipe the liner out of the waterline. I got a freckle right there, so it looks like I didn't. And you have slightly more awake eyes. Okay, now before I do anything else, no mascara, no nothing else, we're going to go straight into doing my foundation. So I'm going to go in with the Laura Geller. This is my new favorite. It's the Double Take Baked Versatile Powder Foundation. And this can be put on wet or dry with a brush or a sponge, whatever you want. For me, if you go underneath, there's a little sponge and it's double-sided. The kind of pinky side is if you want to do wet. The white side, which isn't so white on mine right now, is for dry. And for days when I don't want to do a lot of makeup, I do the dry side. It just works better for me. So I'm going to just tap that around my face like I was putting pressed powder on. And you can already see it's knocked down a little bit of the shine. Places where I've got a little hyperpigmentation. Back over here, it's kind of evened it out. You can see my New Year's zit. Kind of calms it down a little bit. And I'm not going up under my eyes yet, and you'll see in a minute. Just gonna right along there. And my nose. I always go down on my neck because I have hyperpigmentation down here left over from scarring, from acne. And also, if your foundation is even remotely different than your neck, it's going to show. So go take it down your neck. All right. So we're going to go into blush now. I'm going to go back to that Sakura and Sage palette. And this color here, Azalea, is a beautiful everyday blush. And I'm not doing this. I'm not doing... No. Keep your face fairly neutral. Look at where you would normally blush, where the sun's going to hit you. And that's where your blush goes. Now, some people want to go back up here a little bit more. Some people keep it more forward. I've got a fairly oval face, so I can just kind of follow that cheekbone just a little bit. And I have to go fairly heavy with blush usually because my face seems to swallow it. Now, this other color, Dawn, I love this for a light bronzer. So I'm going to use that same brush, and I'm just going to go right under the edge and around, just to give me a little more warmth in my face today. Now, I'm not actually contouring today because, you know, why bother? It's Monday. The kids are back in school online. I don't have to go anywhere except maybe to get coffee because Starbucks is down the street. And, well, I'm a Starbucks addict. Okay, so now I've got that on. Now, I do have a little bit of dark circles under my eyes, and I got this in a influencer box. So this was a freebie that I was to review, and I have reviewed it. This is the Laura Mercier, and it is her Duo Secret Camouflage Duo Brightening and Concealer. And this is the shade, I have the shade, and I've lost the shade. What's my shade? N2. I should know that. So I'm going to go in with the concealer end, and I'm just going to touch where my circles really are, just gently with this. The nice thing about this is it doesn't need a bunch of powder over it to keep it from creasing. It lasts pretty well. It does take a minute to warm up once you get it on your skin, and I kind of just set my finger over it to warm it up to get it to move when I want to blend it. But it works pretty well. Now, if it looks like I need a little bit extra, which I usually do on the left here because I've got a little more of a tear trough here, I'm going to take the brightening side and I'm going to touch right along that trough. I got a little on that side. And I'm just going to blend that in. So this is a great one for like quick down and dirty coverage. I love it. And thank you to Influencer and Laura Mercier for letting me review this for you. I'm going to go back with my Laura Geller powder now, just a little bit to make that kind of make sure I've seamed in underneath there. Just a tiny bit right over the top. You don't have to. I'm doing it today because I'm going to be doing some housework and stuff. So I'm going to be sweating a little bit, and I just want to make sure nothing moves. All right. So all I got left, lips and eyes, lipstick, and let's try that again. Okay, all I've got left is mascara and something for my lips. So this is my holy grail. This is the Laura Geller Lash Boss. I love it. I have a backup tube of it. You can see my eyelashes are pretty fair now. But they're there. And when I hit them with this, I don't need a lot of coats of mascara to make it look like I have eyelashes. So look at that. One coat of mascara, okay? And that's just the top lashes. I haven't done the bottom yet. I'll do the bottom after I do the top. I always do both sides of the top first and then let it dry for a second before I try and do the bottom, because otherwise you're likely to end up with like patches of mascara up in your eyelid. If you're like me and you have slightly hooded eyes. One coat. I love it. You don't have to wear false eyelashes with this. You can just do one coat. I love it. This is literally my holy grail right here. Anybody asks, what's a good mascara? And I always say Laura Geller Lash Boss. This particular one, I have noticed that it tends to stay on better than even some of my waterproof mascaras, but it's easy to remove. The problem I have with waterproof mascaras is they can be so difficult to remove. I almost feel like I'm pulling at my eyes and scratching at my eyes no matter what remover I use to get it completely out of my eyelashes. This stuff comes off really easy, but only when I want it to. So now I'm going to do the lower lashes because that's had a second to do that. So I'm going to make the lash face. and catch my lower lashes. Now, I always do my lower lashes. A lot of people say don't do your lower lashes as you get older because it's going to make you look tired, whatever. I've got some pretty significant lower lashes here. And as long as I have them, I'm going to flaunt them. Now, if you don't have a lot of lower lashes and you don't want to use mascara, or you have a lot of lashes and you don't want to put it on the bottom, then don't do it. But I do. I always like the look of having that mascara on the bottom. It makes me feel like my eyes feel a little more youthful, because when you picture a little kid, you picture that kid, like the cartoon kid's got the big old eyelashes all around their eyes. That's what it reminds me of. Now today I'm going to, because I didn't grab anything else, this is here. This is my Sol de Janeiro, and I forget what color this is. This is the Soul Mate, and it is, I wish I could remember the name of the oil. There's some oil in here and it kind of smells like chocolate. Yeah, it does. It has like a chocolatey smell to it. But this is, it looks pretty dark, but it's really not. And having the Cosa Sport underneath makes it glide really pretty. And it just acts like a gloss. And there we go. So that is my face. We're going to do a little something with my hair real quick here. I'm gonna, like, I brought it out here. Take my hair down, brush it out. Now, when I'm doing my hair in the morning for just a casual day, and I don't want it to look like it's frizzing all over the place, because I have this, I don't have curly hair, I don't have dead straight hair anymore, I have slightly frizzy wavy hair. So I take my trusty dusty flat iron, this is an ancient Remington, and I just run it through a few sections at a time just to lay down the frizz real quick. It takes no time at all, as you'll see here. I'm not trying to dead straighten it. I'm not trying to curl it or do anything fancy. I'm just smoothing it out real quick. So I can do even bigger sections as long as I don't do any bigger than the panel. There we go. See? You can see the difference already. See? Smooth, slightly fuzzy. So I just split it down the back, and I take, you know, little sections. They're about half inch in like diameter type thing, and I just get the iron on it after I comb it out and run it straight down, just real quick. Does not take long. So I'm not worried about being super precise. I'm not trying to put a bend in it or anything. I'm just trying to smooth out what's there. Now this is what I do with my hair. If you have super curly hair, you may have to do something different every day. If you have super straight hair, you may want to curl it. If I want my hair really curly for the day, usually before I even start my makeup, I will put my hair in curls. And basically what I do is I will use my curling iron, curl it, and then pin the curl in place until I'm done doing my makeup. And that helps give me curls that last most of the day. All right, one more section here, right here. Everything underneath. There you go. Now I've kind of flattened everything out. I'm gonna turn the iron off before I burn myself. My go-to to give me a little more oomph for the day is the Sexy Hair. This is not it. Shoot, I'll be right back. Okay, so my go-to to give it a little oomph for the day is the Sexy Hair Big Funraiser. And this is just a texturizing spray, so it doesn't really have any hold. but it does give that lift back without making me frizzy. Ta-da! So there you have it. My everyday get ready. That's what I do when I'm not doing fancy makeup. So if you really enjoyed this, I will do an evening routine for you for my skincare, what I do, how I take my makeup off, and my cleansing routine. Hopefully you learned something. I mean, I don't know what you can learn because everybody's skin is different. So do what works for you. Find a routine that works and stick with it. Because if you do, your face will thank you for it. I'm not saying I never get any breakouts, but my skin has improved 1,000% by finding the right routine and keeping the moisture on there. So until next time, ta-ta.